Welcome to Best of US Investors, Nvidia's daily price range projection email that I send out every day. Now, you can subscribe to this. It's totally free. There's no obligations. I'm not going to pressure you into doing something or charge you a fee at some point. No, this is totally free. This is something that you can use to figure out what the daily price projections of what range that Nvidia is going to trade in during the market day. Now, if you're a trader, this can give you some insight to the intraday movements and where I believe the price will go to, top and bottom, or you can use it as a long-term projection of trend movement in the stock and other elements that you can use. So today I'm going to take you through how to look at this, what it looks like, and what you receive in your email each morning. Now, I encourage you to use the website because there's a lot of other great things on Best of US Investors website that you can utilize for free. And we're always adding great things, articles, along with how-tos, that kind of stuff. So let's check it out and take a look at the Nvidia daily price projection worksheet. All right, here you go. So this is the format of the NVIDIA's daily price range projection worksheet. And so, of course, you have the date, you have your daily price range. Now, this is the price of the stock when you open this up. Now, when you get the email in the morning, it's going to be fixed. It doesn't change. But if you go to the website and you look at it via the website, this number will change. We then give you a projected low end and high end. So as you can see today on the 4th, our low end projection is $131 and a high end is $140. Now we also look at the 15-day price range and or price average. And as you can tell, if it's above, the price is above the daily or the 15-day price trend, it'll say up, and if it or above, and if it's below, it'll say down. Really simple to understand. Now over here, this is the percentage away from the low end. So the stock price percentage away from the low end of the range is 4.84% today. So if you're looking for a buy low, sell high approach, what you would see here, the way you would interpret this, is that you're 4.84% above the low end projected range. Now, this isn't guaranteed. There is no advice in this or recommendation. This gives you just guidelines for which to think about how the NVIDIA stock price is moving within the day. On the upside, the percentage away from the high end, it's only below the high end by negative 1.74%. So at 37.35, the price is just below by 1.74% below the 140-day high end that we have projected. Now, if I'm a long-term investor or an intermediate term investor, I may look at this and go, okay, that's interesting. Maybe I shouldn't buy this. But what you have to consider as well is the last 5 days of trading and where it opened, where the high intraday was, where the low intraday was, and where the close was, and the volume. And as you can see here, these are 5 days worth of data here. And in my commentary, I usually comment below here, below the chart of the day, and I explain the highs and lows. Is it having a higher high, a higher low, those kind of things. And I explain how to interpret this action because I look at things in blocks of 5 or fractals of 5. And so 5 days gives me an idea of what the trend is going to be or where the pivot's going to be on the top side or on the bottom side. So by looking at the range today, if I'm trading NVIDIA, what I notice is my top end is $140 versus the price at 137.59. As you can see, that number changed. It updates on a 20-minute basis. And what it says to me is, well, I'm probably at the top end of the range. If I'm trading this intraday, it's probably not the best time to purchase this at this point, unless we see some sort of big volume breakout. And that's when you look at your charts and refer to your own chart setups and look at the stock from that point of view. But in general, what I would be looking at here is I'm waiting for this stock price to get closer to the low end and be able to buy it there and then trade it intraday in that form. I also use simple moving averages, 9, 20, and 90. I use the 90 because that's my more of my intermediate term, long-term trend. And I give it a real simple above or below. And as you can see, the stock price as of before market open today was below the 9-day. It was below the 20, and it is above the 90. So it says to me the intermediate trend is still intact, but we're seeing some breakdown in the shorter term. RSI, relative strength index, if it's above 50, I give it above. And if it's below 50, I give it below. I also give the previous day's close on the RSI. And if you track this, you'll see some rate of changes there, which gives you an idea of, hey, maybe the stock is strengthening or it's weakening. I use the MACD because it gives me a more longer term oscillator and gives me more of a directional change on a longer term perspective. I use positive, neutral, or negative. And as you can see here, we have a negative as the close of business on Friday, November 1st. We have a negative declining MACD. Now, that can change intraday, and that's where you update you look at that on your charts and compare and maybe make some decisions. Slow stochastic is a little bit quicker of an indicator than the MACD, and I have it as overbought or oversold. If it's above the 70 mark on the slow stochastic, it's overbought, and if it's below the 20, it's oversold. So I use these in my deciding, is Nvidia a good time to buy, or is it a good time not to buy, or a good time to sell? So I also then make comments about it, what I think about the previous 2 days, how they compare, and what it looks like for the coming week. And so when I use this price range projection, this is fixed. This is based on the closing price of the previous day, and that's where we come up with the low end and high end. It does not change intraday. It used to, but it became too like chasing rabbits, which doesn't help work. And so what I fixed that to the low end, I fixed that based on what was the previous day's close, and I calculate that via some mathematical formula stuff that I've researched for like 25 years and have come up with this formula. So use this as a guideline, a benchmark to look at how NVIDIA is trading, how to invest into NVIDIA, and is this a good time today to invest in it from a short-term perspective, but you also can utilize this from a long-term perspective because this is used to look for pivots in NVIDIA's stock price. Is NVIDIA at the top end of its range? Is it going to pivot? And my comments really get into the details of the daily highs and lows and how to interpret the stock movement. So, like last week, we had lower highs and lower lows, and we continuously saw that until Friday, where we had a higher low and a bit of a higher high fractionally. But what that showed was a condensing or a sort of a compressing of the spring. When your low end intraday comes up and closes up higher, you get this spring effect after a number of days. So a lot of stuff there. But anyhow, that's how this works. Now, totally free to sign up. You're going to give your name and email address. And there's no charge. I'm not going to come back and say, hey, it's $14.95 down the road or anything like that. It's totally free service to you from Best of US Investors. What I would encourage you to do is to look at some of our other free stuff, our articles, some of our other information that we use that we post on a regular basis, and use Best of US Investors as I say your first two place you go in the morning to figure out what you're doing, in this case, NVIDIA, but also learn a little bit more about what's happening in the markets. Now, one other thing, in the coming probably period of time, never coming weeks, we're going to introduce a full top 10 holdings of the S&P 500 version of this. Now, since it does take some work, I will be charging for it, but it's going to be in our silver package, which is only $9.95 a month. Now, It's not available today, but when it is available, I'll let you know. It includes the top 10 holdings of the S&P 500 and the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and Qs, along with a handful of other ETF indexes as well. And that will be $9.95 a month. That includes the daily email you would receive, as well as a Sunday um, email that you would get right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it breaks down the individual positions within the risk range tracker that we use, as well as some other breakdowns and information as well. So it's a pretty stout package for $9.95. But look for that. In the meantime, sign up for this, the Nvidia daily price range projection information sheet that you get every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning. This comes in your email at 7:45 Central Time, and use it. But get used to using this. Take a look at it, and I really appreciate you subscribing and taking the time to listen to my explanation. In the meantime, live loud.